Welcome class to Recipe Reviews 101, where we teach you how to look at a recipe and understand what's going on with it. Today we're going to be looking at dark chocolate pistachio keto fat bombs. So grab yourself a pen, paper, and your favorite beverage, because I'm Professor Kitchen, and class is in session. Today we're looking at a recipe called Dark Chocolate Pistachio Keto Fat Bombs by Google Plus user Keto Recipes. And I will put a link to the original recipe down in the description box below. Please go take a look at it if it's something that interests you. If you don't know what a fat bomb is, if you're on a keto diet, it's very important that you get, well, on any diet you're on, it's important that you get enough calories in your diet so your body doesn't go into starvation mode. In the keto diet, the way they keep that up, because you're eating almost no carbohydrates, so you're getting no calories there, is they increase the fat content. One of the best ways that people have found to increase their fat content is through these things called fat bombs, which are just like little cookies or sweets, or sometimes they're even savory, but they're mostly fat, and they're just making where they taste good. In this case, they're doing dark chocolate pistachio fat bombs. And if you never tried a fat bomb, the first thing you're going to think of is fat bomb. Just eating a glob of fat, that's not any good, but actually it can be really tasty. Let's take a look at how they work. First of all, it says that there are 16 servings to this. The prep time is 10 minutes, and there's no cook time, so you don't have to turn on your oven for this. That's great. Ingredients: 1 cup of coconut butter, 1 cup of canned coconut milk. Now, wait a minute. Coconut butter and coconut oil are two things that are very big in the ketogenic lifestyle, the ketogenic way of eating, however you want to put that. Coconut is high in MCT oils, which are the very good oils for you. Use a lot of that as their fat intake. So we got 1 cup of coconut butter, 1 cup of canned coconut milk, 1 cup of finely chopped pistachios, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, liquid stevia extract to taste, which is a sweetener, 1/4 cup chopped dark chocolate, and then 1/2 teaspoon of palm shortening. All right, pretty straightforward there on the list. The hardest thing probably to get if you live in a rural area, the most difficult thing to get is probably going to be that palm shortening. Maybe the coconut butter or coconut oil. If you shop online, you can get that pretty easy. The canned coconut milk, most grocery stores do have on their shelves. All right, instructions. Number 1, combine the coconut butter and coconut milk in a small saucepan over low heat. Coconut butter or coconut oil melts very quickly. It's solid at room temperature, but even just putting your hand on it can almost instantly cause it to melt. It's even got a lower melting temperature than butter does. So we're just melting the butter and the milk together. It says when melted, stir in all but 1 tablespoon of the pistachios along with the vanilla, then sweeten to taste. So you're putting in 3 things right here. After it gets melted, you're throwing in your pistachios, everything except for 1 tablespoon. We should stop that. Everything except for 1 tablespoon. And then you're putting in the vanilla and your stevia, your liquid stevia. It's very important that you use the liquid form. You can make it yourself or buy it, but you cannot use the solid form of any sweetener when you're using nothing but fat, because it won't dissolve into it. Most sweeteners are water soluble. And so if you try to put, just say, the powdered, like the cooking form of stevia or even the little packets in there, it won't work. You'll have a bunch of little lumps of sweetener in there, and it will not mix well. And so you'll get actually grainy taste in your mouth, and you'll get some spots that'll be sweeter than others. It won't mix right. You must use the liquid form. I know this from experience. It says now on number 3, remove from heat and chill for 1 to 2 hours until firm. It shouldn't be hot because you don't need to boil it or anything like that, but it's going to need to set up first, because we're going to scoop it out here in a minute. Then after it's firm, it says divide the mixture into 16 portions and roll them into small balls. It's kind of like if you're making cookies and you're going to, a lot of cookies require you to take and get a lump of it and then you roll it into a ball. The best way of doing that without making this huge mess make sure you wear a pair of latex gloves. First of all, to keep the oil off your hands. Second of all, to try and insulate just a little bit your hand from the oil, or the oil from your hand, however you want to look at it. This recipe does not say to put it into the ice box, but that might be a good idea just to lower the temperature even more, so it will at least take longer to melt, because it will melt very, very quickly on just your body heat. Now, number 5, melt the dark chocolate in the microwave with the palm shortening. So what you're doing here is you're making a glaze for your fat bombs. You got your coconut fat and your pistachios and your flavorings and your chocolate. Now you're making almost a ganache using the palm oil and the dark chocolate. Then it says dip the balls in the chocolate and place them on the plate. So the way you're going to want to do this is you're going to want to use like toothpicks in order to roll them around. Otherwise, you're going to get most of the chocolate on your hands or your gloves or whatever. So take individual chocolate balls, and you have your palm oil and chocolate melted in the microwave and stirred up, and you're going to take your chocolate balls, dip them, drop them in there, 1 or 2 at a time, not too many at a time, and take a pair of toothpicks or a fork or something and scoot them around to get them covered. Take those out and put them on a plate using a spoon or a fork. I would go with probably more of a fork than a spoon, because a spoon will scoop up a lot of the chocolate. Usually in these recipes, you don't have a lot of extra ganache, and you're going to want to cover everything with that yummy chocolate. Number 7, sprinkle with the remaining pistachios, then chill until the chocolate is hardened, then serve. So it's not going to take long to get them to a consistency where they're going to be ready to serve. It shouldn't take more than 30 minutes to an hour. So this is a great recipe you can make up at the last minute if you're having guests over. You can throw this together the last couple hours, or even you can make it a couple days ahead and it's still going to be okay, so long as you keep it covered in the refrigerator and you can keep your hands off of it long enough before they get there, because these sound like they're going to be really, really tasty. They're going to have a dark chocolate bitterness on the outside, and then the inside fat bomb is going to be very sweet with your stevia, if you like it sweet. And one of the great things about this recipe, it says do it to taste. The bad part about that is that you have to kind of experiment with it, and the first time you do it, it's probably not going to be to your liking, and you're going to have to play with it a couple of times. But thankfully, fat bombs aren't expensive to make. If you try this, let me know what you think of it down in the comments section below. Do you have any recipes you'd like me to go over in recipe reviews? Please also let me know them in the comments section below. Thank you all for coming today. Hope you have a great week. God bless. Class dismissed.